Welcome to The Dreadful Dialogue, a podcast where we chat about all things horror, from interviews, spooky event coverage, movie deep dives, and just other haunting topics. My name is Alyse, and today we have a returning guest to chat about the 1974 movie Tourist Trap. Nelson, welcome back to the podcast.
Hello, glad to be back. I don't know if you guys recognize me, but I'm that guy with the demon mask.
Yes, we
Yeah.
like that mess. Satan's Little Helper, yeah.
Yep. Might be getting a new one because I think this one's already getting worn out.
Oh, yeah. That's cool. And you're going to come up with some, I know like cosplayers put so much emphasis on like how it feels on them and different things. So I'm sure you're going to add some like changes for comfort.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I know if you guys listened and or watched our previous episode, The People Under the Stairs, Nelson went ahead and wore the mask for us so we could see it. So again, that's from what movie? Remind us.
Satan's Little Helper.
Nice.
It's that movie. Like people have asked me about it, and there is really no way to watch it. Like you can't really find it for DVD or Blu-ray, and it's not really on any streaming sites. It's just hard to watch.
Yeah, it was on Shudder during like the Halloween season. That was actually like the first time I saw it was last year around Halloween. I don't know if it's still on Shudder, their streaming service. But other than that, yeah, that's probably why it's hard to get your hands on because I had never even heard of it till I saw it was on there.
Yeah, it's a very small movie. Like even then, though, it doesn't have many fans because I'm not a fan of it either. I just like the character.
Yeah, he's a pretty funny character. His shenanigans that he pulls on different things. All right, so we're chatting about the Tourist Trap 1979. When was the first time you watched this movie?
I saw it around when Dead Meat popped up. It was like a couple of years ago. They talked about it, but I never like to get spoiled with the movie. I saw it and I was like, it might be a good watch, so I put it on for my folks. Um, yeah, I don't even know what to explain when I first saw it. It was just like I could tell their faces. I don't know if they were entertained or just weirded out. They didn't have nothing to say about it. Like it's definitely like a fever trap because, things are happening. There's no explanation for it, and it just gets weirder and weirder. It's like it's a weird fever dream.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely entertaining, but it's also like, you're a little bit like creeped out by it.
Yes. Yeah, this movie gives me the heebie-jeebies is what I like to say. Like, yeah, it creeps me out because the whole movie, there's mannequins, right? And there's a few dolls in it, but it's mainly mannequins. And the first time I saw it was during there's in Facebook, there's a group called Shudder Horror Fans, and they don't just watch Shudder movies. They watch all horror movies in general. And I watched it with them. They had a watch party during the pandemic where everybody pushes play at the same time, and we're like in a chat room, laughing about it and commenting. And I was like, what the heck is this movie? The opening music is weird, right? It's a clown, like
Oh,
carnival
wow.
kooky music. And you're like, what the heck am I watching? But I agree with you. When you're watching it, you're like, what the heck is this? Like it's all over the place at times. And then the music throws you off because it's like this clown music at times. And it's like this like soap opera sounding music. And I don't know what it wanted to be. I don't know if it wanted to just be a drama, if it wanted to just be with jump scares. It felt like it was trying to be comedic, but it wasn't very comedic at times.
I don't know. It feels like it was Psycho with LSD. Like
Yeah, it had
there's
psycho
a
vibes.
it has like a lot of Psycho vibes to it, but then it's also this supernatural element, and it's like I don't know. Like it's hard to prepare somebody for this movie. I saw it, a couple more times just to like, get my ideas refreshed about it. And after watching it, I'm like, I still have a lot of questions in that. I don't have any answers.
Yeah.
I don't know what to say.
I'm sure we're gonna get into some of those. Yeah, but this definitely has like psycho vibes with the main character. It also kind of has Texas Chainsaw Massacre vibes in the sense of like it's a tourist trap, right? The main characters essentially it's like and I usually read a synopsis and let me see if I can try to break it down off the top of my head. It's a group of teenagers or young adults rather. I don't think they're teenagers, and they get a flat tire and they end up at I guess this guy is like old mannequin wax. It's not really a wax museum, but it gives you wax museum vibes, and just what's happening while they're there. The mannequins are coming to life and they're being stalked, of course, and they're getting picked off and dying. And we have a reveal about who the character is. So it's definitely got like Texas Chainsaw Massacre vibes, a little bit of Psycho. And if you watch the House of Wax, not the original, but the 2005, it's almost like they copied this movie because the House of Wax remake isn't very true to the like 1953. And it even like when you watch Motel Hell, it's another movie that just popped in my head. Like they've all got like those same vibes of like getting people stuck somewhere, trusting somebody, usually an older man, and thinking they're a nice guy. And then in reality, it's like, nah, we got you here to kill you.
Honestly, the House of Wax movie, the one with Paris Hilton, right?
Yeah, that one.
It's a, I would say it's a bit more realistic. Like there is more Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and I kind of believed in it a bit. Sideshow attraction, messed up family behind it.
Mm-hmm.
That's the museum is their whole lives, and it's just their whole lives. Like what's surrounded by it. That's they don't go outside. With Tourist Trap, but it's like I kind of get an idea of what it was like back in the day before highways and freeways. You're driving into the country with your family. You're trying to go to a destination, and you see something on the side of the road that might be worth an hour or two.
Yeah.
I've definitely seen that on my way to Vegas. There's always those type of places you see billboards for it, and you think about stopping, but I think it's not like how it was back in the day. Now you just go straight to Vegas. You don't really stop by to any of these places, but you do wonder, like what, like who owns these places and who actually goes to these places. And it's
Yeah.
also like tourist trap, like that whole idea of it. Like, why is it called a trap? Is it? I know it's definitely just to trap people in to get their money, but also it does seem like a little bit horrific behind it.
Yeah. I
Like,
mean, and that's what the movie did, right? They took this idea of like a ridiculous something, like you said, like when you're on, like, because we're both from SoCal, right? And we drive to Vegas because it's only a few hours away. Um, that it's just a way to to trap people and get their money, but this person took it to the next level. They're like, oh, like I'm trapping them, like for real. I'm trapping them. I'm not trapping them just to get their money. I'm trapping them to get their lives. And I think you made a good point with the highway thing, because the main character in this, he's played by Chuck Connors, Mr. Slauson. He mentioned something about how more people used to stop at his museum, but now they created a big like highway or a freeway. So now he's considered like the side street type of thing. Like he's not the main highway. And he's kind of upset about that. He's mad at like, oh, now we got all these highways. And so we have less people visiting. So I wonder if that contributed to his craziness, because we are going to find out that this man, he is
you
up
know
to
where
no good.
that's from a little bit, right?
No.
Psycho.
Yeah, the same isn't that in Psycho? Did they say the same thing, that they were the
Yeah, it
hotel on the
wasn't.
side, not on the main highway anymore?
Yeah, it wasn't highway, or was it highway, or it was? They said they were making another street.
Mm,
Like they were paving. I remember that was in the Bates Motel. Like they were talking about they were making another street, another road, and it would definitely like get you into the town way safe, way faster. And I remember that was the main problem. There are not going to be a lot of attractions coming into the Bates Motel.
yeah, it's going to divert traffic because now people are going to take. I mean, right? People want to take the fastest route they can get somewhere.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
You've been to Vegas, right?
yeah. I've been to Vegas. Oh
Do
yeah,
you
a
have
lot
you
of
ever
times.
seen that big, colorful, like it looks like a water park on the way there?
Yeah, the old shut down water park. Yeah.
Yeah, I've researched about it, and I remember quite a while ago, I was thinking, I went with my friends to Vegas, and we're like, let's go check it out. We went to the main gates of it.
Uh huh.
It's all closed off, but there's parts of the fences that are like easy to go through. And we're like about to go in and check it out. We're like, you know what? This sounds like a horror movie, and I bet there's some like crackheads in there somewhere. You know what? We're not that curious. We just bailed
Yeah. Yeah,
because
there's all kinds of crazy stuff on the way. There's like the alien jerky place, which used to be small. Now it's all big and built up. And
I think they're making a hotel there or something.
oh, really? Oh,
Like every
okay.
time I go, there's something gigantic being built there, and it's like, okay, this one I kind of get. I got some of the jerky, and I was like, it's all right. I
Yeah.
think it's just a little detour before you get on that long stretch of like freaking highway.
Yeah, because it's like here, and then you go to Baker's, kind of like the halfway point, and then you get to Vegas, and in between there's that Peggy Sue's Diner, which I've gone in there once, and it's got like it's like a total 1950s vibe, and they're keeping that aesthetic on purpose. But again, like you could totally turn that into a horror movie concept. I
Also,
think there's interesting things to see on that road.
Isn't there like a dinosaur restaurant around there? Or was that Picky Sue's?
I think well, there's yeah, I think it's next door to Peggy Sue's, the dinosaur
Yeah.
restaurant. I have the dinosaur like display or whatever. Yeah, I haven't gone to to those dinosaurs. I've gone to just to the diner itself. Like they have really good milkshakes.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. All
Well,
right.
if it's not a diner, they need to have good milkshakes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
It's a
especially
must.
if you're gonna be a '50s vibe. I mean, for sure. So let's talk about Mr. Slauson because he's like our main character, and we said he's played by Chuck Connors. Um, he amazed me that he was in this movie because he's like before our time, obviously. But I looked him up, and he had like a huge resume, and he was in this really popular show called The Rifleman, and
Oh yeah.
like he was not like what your stereotypical like horror actor. And this is kind of like a B movie. I mean, I don't even think it was very successful at the time when it first got released. It's kind of got a cult following now. Um, but what did you think about that character and that actor?
Like honestly, I've heard about him. I've seen The Rifleman a couple times. I
Okay.
love old traditional shows and movies. And it's kind of like, wow, he was definitely like a lot older than everybody else, but his acting performance was straight on. Like I think he read the script, he knew exactly how to go with it, and even his mannerisms, the way he smiles and the way like he changes his mood and his character, and it's like perfect. I don't think you could have asked for a better performance. Like this was a B movie, but he was definitely an A-list actor.
Yes, yes, I agree. He was totally an A-list actor. He was so convincing because, again, this movie utilizes so many tropes. Again, we talked about isolation and the place being off on its own because of the highway. There's and young people getting killed. These are all typical tropes that we see in horror movies. But one of the tropes we always see is like an older man that's trying to help out people, and it turns out they're a bad guy. And usually you can tell right away, right? Like that they're a bad guy. Or even talking about Norman Bates, like he gave me the creep factor right away. But this guy didn't do that, even though I was pretty sure because we're big horror fans and you've seen enough of these movies. But he was really convincing. Like he just came off like a nice, genuine guy. Like, hey, don't swim in that water hole. There's water moccasins, which I had to look up. They're snakes. He seemed like he really cared about them. Was really trying to help them get their car fixed. Like he didn't seem like he was going to be up to something sinister at all.
No, even the way he talked about his backstory, like at first, I've been through a couple things. I got arrested, thrown out the Navy. Like he tells you all of his bad flaws. This all prepared me for life, and it's like yeah, he kind of like just was upfront with it. I've done some bad things in my life. That's the past now, and it made me who I am today. And it's whatever thing like how in characters they try to like hide stuff about themselves. He was upfront about it, and it kind of made you trust him even more. Like, oh, you know what? Everyone's done something bad in their life. Like if like they did something where they're investigating something about him, he he doesn't hide it from people. He just uncovers it and is like, you know what? This is me.
Yeah.
And that's a good tactic because you trust him even more now. Because when I rewatch the movie, I'm like, I still don't believe he was the villain. Like he seems really trustworthy.
Yeah. I mean, he may not have even known he was the villain, right? I mean, we're getting into it now. He's kind of like Norman Bates in the sense that we find out he's probably got multiple personalities and he does start to kill off these young people one by one.
Like the thing with Norman Bates though is like even at the ending, he was still in like that mind. Like you know what? It's not me. It's my mother.
Yeah, yeah. I don't
Like
know though. Chuck I
Chuck.
there's so many we could go into a lot of detail about like why was he doing this. He does
Yeah.
tell us that well at the beginning, right? He's saying, "Oh, my brother Davy." He's talking about the museum. My brother Davy made these
Mannequin.
mannequins, and then we find out later part of why he's doing all of this stuff is because he says his brother and his wife he caught them together, and that's it. We see he has he even has a mannequin that looks like the wife, and we find out he's turning these people into mannequins, and that's what the tourist trap is, right? He's trapping some of these people, he's killing them, he's turning them into mannequins. Like we don't know who he's inhabit, like what caused him to go crazy, right? You were mentioning
Yeah.
before we officially started recording, you're like maybe he was already crazy. Was it the brother that was crazy? Did the
I
isolation make him go
I have
crazy? Like
so
what
many
did?
questions. Like okay, with like I was gonna say with Norman Bates, Norman Bates is still crazy at the end. Even in number two and number three, he's still mad, and it
Hmm.
gets worse with him. when they catch him, he's kind of like, you know what, I did it. He tells them the whole story, and he's not like betraying anybody else. He's like really upfront with it. But the thing with me is that okay, um, did he like okay? He pretends to be Davy, and I even think it's weird how he's everywhere at once.
Hmm.
Like it's like when you're watching a movie and you're trying to like scope out the killer, it's kind of like how could he be there with the two characters trapped in the basement, but also with Molly at the same time? And the thing is like you don't like okay, he gives you a little bit backstory, and then when Davy comes out, he has a lot more backstory about himself. Like he's been waiting to talk to somebody. He talks about I'm too handsome, so I have to wear this mask so my brother doesn't get jealous. And I'm like, okay, he might be a little like a freak, like Leatherface.
Hmm.
Is and then he says I have these telepathic powers, and he seems really passionate about it. Like he moves the key, and he's a neat trick. And he says something that the mask keeps it in check, but I don't want to keep it in check. I want to let it loose. It makes me feel good, and I can do stuff with it. Like my idea was, is this Davy? Because you never see a photo of both brothers,
No.
and you're still like, okay, he's pretending to be both brothers, and I've noticed there is no mannequin of his brother. He's just wearing it himself. And
Yeah.
like, I would have thought, okay, if he can make people make mannequins come to life, how come he just didn't make one of Davy and let Davy kill people while he's Mr. Slauson? And he didn't want to do that. He wanted to do things himself.
Hmm.
And it's kind of like, okay, like I want to know, like no one talks about it, but like who, okay, he has the telepathic powers, but he makes it that Davy has it. Is he putting all of his bad traits, stuff that he doesn't like about himself on his brother? Or is his brother? And Mr. Slauson was the one that was killed.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good point. It could be. I mean, we don't really know. I mean, these are all it's very ambiguous. Like when he got these powers, did he have these powers the whole time? Did he get these powers after they died? Like you said, could he have originally been Davy? I don't know. It's not clear. I don't think the movie's so focused on that part, but you do every time you watch it, you do start to wonder like what caused all this? Was he already this way? Was it the death of the brother and the wife? There's really no, and then you even wonder like, was he actually making everybody into mannequins? Or are they just insinuating that? Because he's even like disgusted when we get the scene where he turns a girl into a mannequin. I think it's Eileen. This movie makes it so hard to follow the character because you don't get a lot of time with them. And he turns
Basically,
her into one, and then he comes back later as himself, not wearing his mask, and he's like, "Oh no, what did you do?" He's like distressed over it. So is he suppressing that? Did they always do that? Like when did this whole thing happen? Or did seeing Molly trigger it? Because when he sees Molly, he does mention that like she's very beautiful and that she reminds him, I think he even mentions that she
reminds me
reminds
of my
him of
wife.
his wife, right? And I'm like, did that make him like maybe he'd never even done this and he's just let his supernatural telekinesis powers go crazy. I don't know.
Do you wait? Remember the beginning? That guy with that hat, the bucket hat.
Uh-huh.
He just shoots him in the spine with the pipe, and I'm like, yeah, I don't think he saw Molly until then.
Mm.
Like,
That's true
there's a
because
lot.
the first guy, Woody, right, with the tower, with the tire, gets
Yeah.
messed with all the. That's when we first see the mannequins attacking. Okay.
The thing is, there's not a lot of answers we can have. Like, what if? Okay, I do know he has something to do with the car. That's
Hmm.
why the second car broke down.
Yeah.
So, what if you are right? He saw Molly maybe driving in the car, and he did something to trigger the tire pop. Because when the second
Ooh.
car comes in, do you notice that the headlamps, they just break immediately? They never talk about it, but if you watch that scene, the headlamps just break.
No, I didn't catch that.
And it's like, okay, like it's something you don't notice, but I'm like, okay, if he saw Molly while she was driving on the way there, he might have stopped the tire and made this guy go on his own to get to fix the tire, and he was just looking after Molly. Because I noticed he doesn't touch Molly or want anything harm to do to her.
Yeah.
So, one, did he start the tire pop, or two, was it all a coincidence that the tire popped and he just happens to see her?
I don't know. These are all good questions that we're never going to get actual answers to.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's it's definitely mind-boggling, and I think that's what makes the character perfect because the character's just mad. He's just an insane character and a doctor who's trying to like diagnose what's wrong with a mental patient. You'll get some ideas, you'll get some answers, but you're not 100% sure if it's really the truth, and you'll never get a complete guide to who these people are. They're just mad.
Yeah. So let's talk about the actual mannequins. Did they scare you at all?
Oh my God, man. The
They scared me. I
mannequins.
won't lie. I don't like mannequins, like in general.
Have
Dolls,
you
mannequins, puppets. They give me the creeps. I was doing a little like background research, and the director of this movie, I think Charles Band, I believe his name is. Like he even went on to do a lot of. Oh, there's something moving in the back. If you're watching on video, he's still Chucky.
ha- have you been to downtown LA?
I've been.
You've been to like the shops there, like okay, Beverly
Hmm.
Hills shops. Their mannequins like stone, like they're silver. They look kind of beautiful. But when you go to downtown, they have these like weird mannequins. They have their mouths open. They have their eyes like they don't look human. They just look like these creepy mannequins. I don't know if we could pull up a photo of one, but like there's the mannequins are like stuck in like motion. Like their mouths are all like
Yeah,
distorted and it just look terrifying. Even during the day, like oh my God, man, these look horrible to make. I don't know like how much work they put into it, but they just look terrifying. There's always those type of mannequins that don't look right.
hmm
And the first mannequin you see is the one slumped over in the corner, and it just opens his mouth and does this
hmm
creepy, this creepy laugh, and it's like, what the hell?
all the
And then there's
sounds
that.
they make are creepy. Like they're either doing that, oh, or they're like, ha ha ha. They're doing this like, and I can't even nail that laugh. Like it's a creepy laugh.
Do you remember the goblin mannequin, the second one that comes out from the closet in the beginning?
Yeah, yeah.
That's the face that they use on Dead Meat, the YouTube channel. Like
Hmm.
that's like the main mannequin that they always show off, and it just
Hmm.
looks demonic. Like it has like this very scrunched face that's laughing. And it's like, who made this? It like either it was intentional or it was just a freak accident. It looks something like a horror movie.
Hmm.
Nobody would actually want to make this mannequin, and it just looks completely horrifying. Like they made them to look disturbing.
Hmm.
And a lot of the mannequins, like some of them look good, like the ones that they show off General Custard, the ones he shows off in the shot, like they look really good and they move on their own and everything.
Hmm.
And that would be awesome. I would still be creeped out by it, but pretty awesome. But then you see the ones in the shops, the ones in the houses, like, oh, they're all unfinished. They all look creepy, pretty scary, and I think they're purposely not done yet. They're
Yeah.
just like fast rush projects, and they're like, oh my God, if I was trapped in a room full of mannequins, that's exactly where now I don't want to be.
Yeah, I couldn't make it. But yeah, so the guy who directed this, he went on to do like Puppet Master, which makes sense, right? He did a lot of, I think, Full Moon Pictures. So if you're familiar with Full Moon, they're known for great movies like Evil Bong and a lot of
Oh
more of
my
the
God,
that sillier B movies. But yeah, this guy did a lot of weird movies like that.
I have
Uh
Blade up there,
oh, nice, nice, yeah.
the little puppet
Yeah,
master.
that puppet scares me. That movie, that's a whole nother story. I don't want to go off on a tangent about it, but if I ever cover that movie, I'll have to talk about the first time I saw that. But yeah, you were talking about the animatronic one, right? So have you ever been to the where they can move? You said the General Custard, and I think it was like Davy Crockett. Have you ever been to
Yeah.
Knott's Berry Farm?
Oh yeah, I've seen that. The Western was it the Western place?
Yeah, and they have some like that too, and those scared me as a kid. And even I think Disneyland had some as well, which those are both theme parks in SoCal. They had the President's one. I don't know if that was I was really
You
little. You
know, I remember the president's one.
the
Like it's
President's Hall
definitely
or the Great Hall or something, and those same thing. They kind of give you the creeps.
like I think anything from the past, they just never really could nail it. Like, have you seen Santa Claus and like Easter Bunny outfits from like the 50s and 40s?
Yeah, the Easter ones are super creepy. The Easter
Like
Bunny
they look
ones.
demonic, or Mickey Mouse from back in the
Oh
day.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Like, oh my God, Mickey Mouse looks like he's on crack.
yeah.
Like
The
Jesus, like they could never nail it right. I think they were trying to make them too realistic,
hmm
and it just failed. It's like comparing the first Sonic movie, when the thing they came out with, they're trying to make him like a hedgehog.
hmm
It looks unsettling, and it's like, oh no, you gotta go full cartoon. You can't go, realistic. Like they're trying to make Mickey Mouse into a human person. It's like, no, make them more goofy. Like I've definitely seen mannequins. They're not a really good sell. It's kind of hard to sell them. Like I think like the tourist trap place, it's stuck. It's like set in the 70s, and I think in the 70s that was already kind of going out. I think
Mm-hmm.
it's something like in the 60s and 50s. Families that don't really have TVs, so they go out for entertainment.
Yeah.
And it's just, that's something what they're interested in now. It's just creepy.
Yeah. It's definitely like I don't know why. Like I continue to rewatch this movie even though it gives me the creeps because of these mannequins. And then there's even the whole scene where he goes into a room and he's like holding dolls and then that's when he really gave me Norman Bates vibes because you hear the mother is talking and yeah, but the whole telekinesis thing is also just like I'm not sure what to make of it, where it came from, how he's utilizing it, because you made a good point where he's like, oh, I just wanted to let loose. And then he does have that whole scene, right, where he's not wearing the mask and all the animatronics, they start to attack. I think it's Molly, right? They're like shooting things at her. And I don't know if he just got into a further descent of madness as the movie goes on.
Have you seen Matilda?
Oh my gosh, is that the one with the little girl and Danny DeVito?
Yeah.
Oh
You
my
remember
gosh,
when
I haven't
she's
seen it in so long.
like, the scene where she's dancing, she's throwing things around, and everything is flying, but it looks all completely orchestrated.
Hmm.
Like, I think it's the same vibe right there. She's letting her powers loose, and she can do whatever she wants with it.
Hmm.
But it's not creepy because it's very sweet. Here, it's the same thing. Everything's flying around, things are moving and talking, and he's dancing with his doll bride, and it's like, oh wow, it's the same scene, but it's just different soundtracks and different, it's like different backstories. So it's like when Matilda is very cute with him, it's just like, oh my God, this is complete madness.
Yeah. You know what's crazy about this movie? It's rated PG, but also there was no PG-13 yet. But I don't think this movie, even though there's no nudity, the gore is like very minimal. Like you don't see a lot of blood or anything, right? But I
The
feel
only,
like if PG-13 was around, it needed to at least be PG-13 because like that would if I saw this movie as a kid, I saw this movie as an adult. So, again, it's harder to scare me and you just deal with things better. But if I'd have seen this movie as a kid, I'd have been scared. I'd have been like knocking on my mom and dad's door, like, Mom and Dad, I need to sleep on the floor. I used to do that when I was scared. Me knocking on the door, I'm scared, Mom.
I honestly think this movie's a little bit scarier because, okay, there's no blood. Like, there's the one scene where he gets shot in the rib or
Mm-hmm.
the spine with the pipe. You
Yeah,
hear the blood coming out. It's perfect, but you don't actually see it.
exactly.
And Tanya Roberts, the only person that gets like a crazy kill, well, like a realistic kill, an axe in the back of the head. It's very dark and you can't see any blood.
Mm-hmm.
There is a tiny bit of nudity, like when there's skinny dipping right there in the pool. You don't see anything, but it's very suggested.
It's inferred. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's kind of like, I would say it's more of a psychological thriller,
Mm-hmm.
and I kind of find it more terrifying. Like it's just like a crazier concept, and I think like even though it's PG, I think it would give kids more nightmares than a Friday the 13th movie.
I think so too. I think that the imagery is definitely scarier. It should have been, it would, I think if there had been PG-13, it would have been at least PG-13. And I guess that they almost were going to make it rated R, but I think the director, like, he never actually, like, clarified that he wanted there to be nudity. And then, like, by the time it came to filming I read this somewhere, that by the time it came to film the scene where they're swimming, he kind of was like, "Hey, so do you guys want to like have some nudity?" And they were, and I guess the actresses were like, no," like, but they were like, they would have, that they said they probably would have if they'd had like some forewarning, but it just kind of got sprung on them. And the director was like, "Okay, I'm just not going to fight it." So that was why it was able to maintain the PG rating rather than a rated R, because then they would have had to have added it. So,
I don't think the director had full control because especially with the nudity scene, like I think he would have, if there were nudity, it would have changed the movie for sure. When there's a lot of gratuitous nudity in movies, then that's like the whole poster, naked women around the serial killer. That's always the type of like, you can tell the type of movie from the poster itself.
mhm.
But with Tourist Trap, it wasn't the women that were really shown off. It was mostly the mannequins themselves. And even the PG-13, I think he knew that if it was rated R, there would be way less attention on it. So he just made it more accessible for children. And I do know it was shown off to some kid channels back in the day.
What?
Like not like, Nickelodeon and font like Disney. I'm talking to like I do know that it was shown to children in the 80s and the 90s. Like it was way easier for children to watch. It wasn't late night.
Yeah.
So I think he was trying to get a little more money out of it.
A
Like
lot of
I'm
them,
not
yeah, a lot of horror movies do that when they decide like, well, we kind of need to make money, so we need to tone it down so we don't get a rated R rating.
like Five Nights at Freddy's. Like people wanted it to be rated R, even though in the video games there's no blood.
Hmm.
People wanted the robots themselves to be killing people, ripping them apart. I would have loved to seen that, but kids are the biggest audience of Five Nights at Freddy's. They're the ones that buy the toys, buy all
Yep.
the plushies, and it's kind of like, well, you got to really think about it. Like, do you think he cares about the fans or the money? Like,
Yeah.
there's a lot of fanfare in Five Nights at Freddy's, but what's they just want to get a lot of Easter eggs and everything, just so kids can look out and point at it and rewatch it.
Yeah.
Like Tourist Trap, it's a horror movie, and I want there to be blood, a little bit of nudity. Not gonna lie, but I think the director did what he could, and like it didn't get a lot of attention on it. Like there's some people that know about it, some people that don't, but it's definitely a cult classic with horror fans.
Yeah, from what I understand, it wasn't very popular upon its initial release. And yeah, we actually did I actually did an episode on Five Nights at Freddy's, and I had that same exact conversation with my niece. She was my guest, and she was from that era of Five Nights at Freddy's. Like she was that perfect age. I think she was like 12 or 13 when it came out, and she played the video games, and she had all the merch. So it was like, yeah, you couldn't make it go dark. It would have been a disservice to the true fans of Five Nights at Freddy's, which were these kids, right? Or these people who had been kids when it first came out. So there's definitely a lot of that happens when you read about some of these horror movies that they're like, oh, we could have made it way darker, like we could have made it more gory, we could have upped the nudity, but they just kind of decide not to because yeah, I mean, in the end, they got to make money, unfortunately, and like with Five Nights at Freddy's, sometimes it's just staying true to the fans in the source material.
Well, that's the tough part with staying true to the fans because me, I was 13, maybe 12 when that game came out, the first
Hmm.
one. And I remember playing it. It's a straightforward game. It's pretty easy to follow, but then when you like look at little things, like you can tell like older people were looking at little Easter eggs and little backstories and they're like, wait a minute. The game's a lot more darker when it is, but it's not showing it. And if you know the true story of the game, it's like, oh my God, the game is completely horrific.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like,
The concept itself is, and I didn't know that. My niece explained it on me. I'm like, the concept of what the guy's actually doing to them. I'm like, that's jacked up. Like that is
he's
actually scary, and they don't
shoving the
depict it in the
bodies.
movie. They tell you, but they don't like physically show it.
They could have gone like bloody, showing him chopping up the bodies, stuffing
Hmm.
them, and they smell. Like people talk about the smell, like it smells like rotting corpses and sweat and just like mold in these like machines. But you don't really see that there. You don't see like body parts or like anything like that. Like, and they talk about the bite of 87, which is okay. If any horror fan knows, is when the top of a man's head gets bitten and the frontal lobe is gone, but he's still alive. Like it's impossible that he's alive, but they never show that in the movie. But they never show that in the game either. They just talk about it. It's like a scary story, and you want to see. It's kind of like reading the book versus the movie. When
Hmm.
you're reading the book, you let your imagination goes, and it's
Yes.
like, oh my God, I just imagine blood and pus and all like these disgusting juices, and like, oh my God, that'll be disgusting. But when you see the movie, they tone it down. Like, have you seen Jurassic Park?
Yes.
Like the main like thing with Jurassic Park, the novel, oh my God, it is not a kid's novel. This is just dinosaurs killing people. Like there's a scene where they never show in the movie where the little dinosaurs, the cute ones,
Yeah,
the
the
tiny ones.
Velociraptors. I love them, but they're vicious.
Oh no, not those, the
Oh,
tiny ones.
oh, with the where their faces come out and make the.
No, they're little like these little green ones. They just run around. You never notice them.
Okay, I don't.
They're like
Maybe I don't know my dinosaurs that well.
they come out in the movie. They're like little chihuahuas.
Hmm.
But in the book, it shows there's a scene where a mom wakes up, she hears her baby crying, but the crying just stops, and she sees the little green dinosaurs eating the baby. That's in the book.
Oh wow. Yeah,
And
they wouldn't have got kids in the seat if they put that. They would have had a bad. They wouldn't have gotten the
no,
rating to and gotten families because that was billed as a family movie.
and if you see, you remember the fat guy, Dennis Nedry.
Hmm.
His death scene in the movie was, a little bit comical. They don't show it, but in the books, it's one of the most horrific things ever. They take it to you step by step. And in the book, basically, he sees this velociraptor and it's coming towards him, but it's not comical. It spits at him a couple times until it gets into his eyes and he realizes that he's blind. In the movie, he still sees, but in the book, he's completely blind and he's walking towards the car, but he can't see it. And then he feels like a burning sensation coming from his stomach. And he feels it and his intestines are out because the velociraptor just swipes at him and he feels the pain. He doesn't know what's happening. And it takes you, you're Dennis Nedry. You feel what he's feeling. And then he falls on the dinosaur's foot. He's freaked out and then it bites his head. It lifts him up in the air and he talks. The last lines are kind of horrific. It's like he feels the pain from his stomach. He feels the pain from his head. The claws are chomping down his skull. And the only thing he wants is his final wish is for all of it to be over soon. And that's it.
Wow, that's dark. Yeah, they
And
make it
like,
funny in the movie.
nah, in the book, have done like character like comics drawings of it,
Hmm.
of that type of death, and it just looks completely horrific and like crazy horror scene. It's like no, Jurassic Park could have been horror, and the new Jurassic Park movie that I think they're coming out with, it's like a horror movie. They said it's
Hmm.
not gonna be kiddies. There's no kids in this movie. It's just a monster, like this monster dinosaur. And I think with Tourist Trap, like if you give the acting director full control about it, to hell with what the ratings are saying about it, to make the movie you want to make, it would be a completely horrific movie. Like I
Yeah.
could imagine Tourist Trap being completely bloody. Like if they shown how maybe he turns the people into from puppets into full mannequins, like House of Wax. You remember
Yeah, I was
he
just
puts
gonna
the
mention
wax
that. Yeah, yeah.
and it comes off and it's like, oh my god, that's completely disgusting.
Hmm.
Like I think House of Wax has elements of what Tourist Trap wanted to be.
Yes, I feel like it's almost like a remake of it. I'm like I would be very curious to look up like how much inspiration the writer and director took from Tourist Trap because again, the remake of House of Wax, the 2005, not the original House of Wax. It comes off like a remake of Tourist Trap. It's just instead of mannequins, it's wax figures.
Oh my god, I remember when his skin comes off and you see
Mhm.
like it, his gums and his teeth and he's still alive. He's moving his eyes.
Mhm.
It's
Yeah.
like, oh my god. And did he like he I don't think he died right there. I think he died when the fire happened.
Yeah.
He just can't move and it's like, oh my god, I think that's worse because in George Trap he does I think they die and that death scene with that one girl, you see her like panicking, she's like you never know that type of fear. Like that's a good death. And then
Mhm.
her heart just stops.
Mhm.
Like I think they're both different takes, but they're both pretty good, but Tourist Trap just didn't get the love it wanted.
Yeah. Yeah. So which scene was actually the scariest scene to you or the scene that creeped you out the most?
For me, oh my god, it's I think it was I don't know if it was Tanya Roberts where she's just in the house and then the mannequins are all moving and talking and they fall on her.
Yes, yeah, yeah.
And have you play video games?
Not really, no.
There's a video game called Fallout 4 and
Okay, my husband
I
played Paul plays it, my husband, yeah.
all right, you gotta tell them about this. There's always weird Easter eggs and there's a scene I
Mhm.
think they took that from Tourist Trap.
Oh,
I think
really?
so.
Yeah, he tells
There's
me a lot about it and sometimes I'll watch over his shoulder. Like it's a really cool looking video game. And I like vintagey stuff and then some of it's like one of it's like old Vegas, right?
Yeah, the Vegas is tight. There's weirdly, okay, you go to a weird house. There's no like reason to go there. You just look at the world,
Mhm.
and you go to this bathtub and you see a dead person in there, but you see it's surrounded by like five mannequins, and they're all just watching him. And there's no explanation for it. Like they don't move. It's just a dead guy. There's no backstory towards it. And I'm like, this looks kind of like Tourist Trap.
Mhm.
They're all moving and talking, and they just fall on him. And if
Ugh.
you do something with the mannequin, like you touch one of them, they all just fall on this dead guy.
Oh, wow.
And
Yeah, that's totally like that scene.
it's like, what's going on here? What's weird about this? And imagine being like in complete darkness and you just see like a whole bunch of dolls fall on top of you. Like in your mind, you want to think realistically. These can't move, they can't talk. But in your mind, if they were talking and you're talking towards you, moving, and they fall on top of you, you just like I imagine complete fear
Mm-hmm.
because it's something that's not real. It's something that's breaking with it's with your routine, everything you know about the world, and this just throws a giant like wrench into your whole gears systems.
Mm-hmm.
Because I imagine that's what happened to a lot of the characters from Tourist Trap. At the end, goes completely insane.
Mm-hmm.
She takes the dolls and just drives, and you can see her with a gigantic smile.
Yeah, all her
Like she,
friends that are like mannequins now, they're just in the vehicle with her.
and I just imagine all of them were going through that, just complete and utter madness. Like, oh my God, this is like a ride that will never end.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, I feel bad for all of them. It's not, they're not getting hurt. I don't know if they're getting hurt, but like, they're just, it's like psychological torture.
Mm-hmm.
I
Well,
was
well,
like,
you wonder
Jesus.
after, do they actually die and then they come back? Are they like, they're not themselves anymore? Are they some sort of reanimated? Or is their consciousness still in there when he takes off? I think it's Woody, right? He takes off his arm and like shows that he can move, that he's turned him into a mannequin. You wonder when they're in that vehicle, and that's such a great ending, right? When you said her face is all mad, and you're like, "What the heck did I just watch?" Because like she kills the main guy, she kills Mr. Slauson, and then all of a sudden it's like she's in the car driving with her friends, and then it's just end credits, and you're like, "Okay." And that's when I did wonder later, did they have their consciousness in there? Were they some sort of other, I don't know, possessed person? I don't know.
Why have I felt like I've seen that before? I felt like I've seen something like that before where I think he turns them to inanimate objects, I don't know, mannequins, and in the ending of the movie I'm thinking about, they do come back to life,
Mm-hmm.
like after the spell's over, but it feels like something like that has happened, but they made it into a happier ending.
I don't know.
Here, I don't think they're gonna come back. I think they're just dead.
Or if they are, I don't know if they're going to be themselves. I mean, it's weird. Like I said, I feel like they were like, oh crap, we got to end this movie. Let's just all right, let's just end it real quick. Like again, I mean that happens in a lot of low budget movies. But for me, the scariest scene, I like that scene was scary too. But where I think is it Molly when she's running her outside and everybody's looking for Eileen, okay? Because Eileen's like the first one, one of the first, I think maybe the first lady that gets killed, and they're always looking for Eileen. She's the one that I think ran off to the lake on her own, and
Yeah.
she's looking around for her, and then Mr. Slauson or Davy shows up, and he's like, "Hey, hey, little girl," and he's holding like this mannequin
Oh my
head.
God, I hated that scene.
Yes, in the jaw, and all of them, right? When they sing or when they make their noises, their jaws like unnaturally open so wide. It's like your mandible can't do that. Like you physically can't do that. Yeah, and they make these mannequin jaw just open up, and it's like cackling. And again, the sounds are so freaking like they give me the. I'm like, oh, like, and again, and there's moments where I'm like, why am I watching this movie? Even though I
It
watched it
has
several
no
times.
eyes.
And he's like,
Remember,
"Hey,
it
little
has
girl." And it's like, "Oh, no, no, no."
just
That scene gives me the
tosses it
creeps.
like a
Yeah. And then he like
grenade.
tosses it at her.
Do you
And that's when
remember
you're
the?
like, how is he controlling these things? And you're like, okay, this guy's got some sort of supernatural power.
Do you like? Okay, that's one thing I want. Like, you brought it up, and that's a pretty good thing. He tosses it and then moves its head and it screams out Molly.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, it
Like,
does, huh?
yeah, and it's like, okay, is he doing this with his mind or is that actually Woody in there just screaming his head off, like, please help me?
I don't know if it was Woody's head, but it was somebody's. You're right, though. Maybe is it a reanimated object that's doing it on his own? And he
Have you
telekinetically talks to the thing and controls the things? Or does he actually I don't know. I don't even know how to explain what I'm trying to say, but I get what you're saying. Like,
have you seen Silent Hill, the movie?
oh gosh, same thing, not in a long time. And there are two
Um,
versions of that as well.
yeah, there's a newer one. There is a mannequin monster in that movie.
I don't remember that.
This thing, nobody, it's a bunch, it's like a blob of mannequin parts, arms, legs,
Mm-hmm.
and it has heads, but this is what it does. It gets to a person and it tries to kill them. But when he kills these people, it turns these humans into mannequins.
Mm-hmm.
It sticks this tendril in their head, and the mannequin head, like imagine they did it to you. Your hair comes off, everything, and you just turn into a mannequin completely. It sticks this tendril in your head,
Mm-hmm.
and it shows that whatever was in there screams like the person,
Mm-hmm.
and then the eyes go up in the head, and that head becomes part of this mannequin blob.
Oh.
And it does make you think, okay, they might be alive in there. But it takes off the arms and legs to make part of this weird blob thing. Whatever's in it, you can see like a mouth,
Mm-hmm.
but basically it definitely takes control of people and adds on to the collection, just like Tourist Trap. And it
Ugh.
does make you think like they could still be alive in there because you see the eyes moving back and forth. all of the parts, they're all moving, all the arms and legs.
Mm-hmm.
And like it's just looking for more to add to his collection. And I think that's maybe from Tourist Trap.
Could
You know,
be.
he uses all these people and adds it to his collection. And I don't know what for though. Is he making in his brain? Is he making a conglomerate of all these dolls so that he thinks that some people are gonna come back to it, or is this man so lonely? He's by himself. He doesn't have a wife. He doesn't have his brother, and he's just trying to cope with the loneliness. There's no TV in there either. He's just sitting there surrounded by his dolls, and he's having dinner with his, was it wife or mother?
I
You
don't
remember
remember. I think it's
the
the
head
mother.
falls off. Yeah, the head
Yeah.
falls off, and it's like, you know what? I don't need friends. I can make my own, and that's what he's doing in his brain. And he remember he's like disappointed that the head falls off.
Yeah, because he's arguing, isn't he? He's arguing with the mannequin in with himself, technically, right? In
Yeah,
you know, he's like, yeah, I don't need friends. And then yeah, I forgot about that one where the head falls. You're like, ugh. There's so many scenes throughout this where the whole time I'm just like, I'm literally even again, even though I've seen it several times, I'm still like, just I'm
it's
like,
definitely
I'm icked
kooky.
out.
It's kooky with the sound effects, but like
Yeah,
another theory of mine. Okay, the wife he animates her completely, and she comes to life.
mm-hmm.
The thing I'm thinking about is, does he, okay, if the person is in there, like he completely covers the person in the clay and everything, can he reanimate them to come back to life completely like how his wife did? Because she was a human,
Yeah.
right, when he did that. But he tries to make other creations, and if that doesn't work, that's why that head fell off. I think he has an idea of how to bring back people to life, especially that one guy. Remember, he ripped off his arm, his
Yeah,
legs, and
Woody.
everything? But he looked completely shocked. Like, you see his point of view. He drives the car, he comes in like a hero, but he looks like, what's happening to me?
Yeah.
Like, he gained consciousness. This isn't right. Can he only put their, like, he can't change their consciousness? Like, they are still in there, and when he gives them life, they think they're themselves again, but they're not. They're just puppets.
Yeah, and that was a really good effect, right? Because we didn't know he was one. It was like all of a sudden he turned him into one. So then that's when you wondered, like, does he even need to put all the plaster? Right? There's a scene where he's putting the plaster on the lady and he's turning her into one. And then with this one, he just looked like he was a normal human, and then he just grabs him and rips his arm off, right? Or twists it and does some stuff with his head. So I don't know. We could probably spend 3 more hours trying to figure out like what consciousness they have. Are they in there? Are they not in there? How did he get this power? How does he use his power? Why does it work on some? But that would take that. I don't know. And I think we would still just be going in circles. It's definitely part. I think it might just be part of the movie, right? It's meant to be ambiguous, and it definitely some good conversation starters.
Yeah, but is the director passed away? I think so. I know Mr. Slosson's gone.
Yeah, yeah. Chuck Connors, the actor's gone.
Yeah.
I
I,
I don't know. I don't know if he is. Let me look it up on.
like it's just like
I feel like he's still involved in stuff. I think
it's
it.
like you gotta ask him, but everything I've looked up is just the plot. They don't really go into the backstories. It's just what's from the movie.
Mhm.
I don't know, like this movie, it's really interesting. It's definitely a mind boggling for sure. But it definitely makes you think about things. It's definitely
Yeah.
psychological. But then again, it's a good reason why I will never be next to mannequins.
No, no. I don't get really too close to him, and it's funny because sometimes I'll be out in public and I forgot where I was, and I have a little one, right? I have a toddler, and we're somewhere, and he's like, "Mama, what happened to her head?" And I'm like, "What is he talking?" I'm like, "Oh my god, what is he talking about?" And it was a mannequin head of store, and like none of them had heads, and I'm like, "Oh my god, that probably would have creeped me out as a kid." But I'm like, did that make him less human? I don't know. It was weird.
Take
I
them to
think
the
he is
wax
still alive
museums.
though, the director. And like I said, I think Charles Band again. I think he was involved. The director's David Schmoller, and then I can't remember. I think Charles Band is the producer of this one. I should have verified that before I got on here, but he goes on to do a bunch of kooky movies, and it makes sense. I think he, like we said,
Puppet
Puppet
Master.
Master. He does one called like Demonic Toys, and
Oh,
it's
the
like
Body Toys.
yeah, it's like right up his alley for this sort of movie. I'm like, if anybody's watching right now, I'm like I'm not even looking because I'm trying to Google some of this stuff.
There's a
But
lot
yeah,
of like horror people in this movie, big names, but I think this was a stepping stone for a lot of people. Like, even though it didn't get attention, it definitely got people's, definitely showed them a lot of credit what they could do.
Mm-hmm. You definitely some
Um,
inspiration for other movies. Like we said, House of Wax. I think even House of a Thousand Corpses had a bit of elements from it. House of a Thousand Corpses also still used a bunch of elements from other movies, but that's what movies do,
yeah.
right? You don't reinvent the wheel. You kind of play off of other things you know.
Yeah, Captain Spaulding's little place was a tourist trap.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that was totally a tourist trap. Only you could tell Captain Spaulding was a bad guy, right? He gave you the creep factor. Again,
Yeah.
Chuck Connor's acting in this, Mr. Slauson, he nailed it. And I found an interesting fact, in fact, about Chuck Connors. He played professional. He played in the MLB, so he played professional baseball, and he played in the NBA. I don't know how long he played in either of them, but I was like, he's a really tall guy, so it makes sense. But I thought that was cool. I'm like, oh, so he's also like this athlete?
He was the Celtics and was it the Red Sox?
I think it was the Celtics, and I don't remember what the other team was. I want to say it was a team that's like not a franchise that may not be around. And I feel like if I recall what I read, he played basketball longer.
Yeah.
Still, that's cool. You don't hear about that too often.
No, like they either stick with baseball or basketball. Well, the only other person I could think of that did something like that was Michael Jordan, but he wasn't a
And
good
Bo
baseball player.
Jackson, but I mean, that was in Deion Sanders, right? That was baseball and football, though. And then what? Yeah, basketball, but basketball and baseball. Yeah, I think you're right. And I
Oh,
don't think
wait a
Michael
minute.
Jordan made it all the way to the MLB, right? Or to the major leagues. He think he's
Okay.
did he? I don't know. I don't know if I
No, he
think he
did.
stayed or if
He
he
was with
did,
the major leagues.
did he make it all the way to the major leagues? I thought he was more in like the AAA or something. I don't know. I'm not.
No, he just
I'm
wasn't good though. Okay, I actually pulled up Chuck Connors on baseball.
okay.
He was with the Chicago Cubs, which is damn a good team,
Yeah, yeah.
and with the Brooklyn Dodgers.
Oh wow.
So no, he was out there. I think that Chuck Connors, I think he was just like ambitious because like being with one team is good enough, but he was with the Celtics. He was a great actor. Like The Rifleman is a really good popular series.
That's what I've heard. I've never watched it, but it had great reviews.
And Tourist Trap is not one of the best horror movies, but you can tell he gave it his all.
Yeah, he did really good, and I think I read somewhere as well that like he wanted to do this because he kind of wanted to be known as like the Boris Karloff of the 80s. Like he was wanting to take his career in another direction, and I don't think it panned out. I don't think he did much after this, but it was cool that he like stepped out of his usual element and did this horror movie. So I liked it.
I don't know, I think he did a lot. I think he's just like an older person. He didn't want to be one and done. He just wanted to just keep pushing his way out there. It was
Hmm.
all about work for him.
Yeah.
I might go get myself a Chuck Connors baseball card or a baseball basketball card. Well,
Yeah.
I'm a Lakers fan, so I don't know if I
Me
can get
too. Yeah,
myself.
yeah. Yeah, Lakers.
No, I'm not getting no Celtics thing, but
Oh yeah,
I
no,
might
no,
I
I
might
can't.
get me a
F the Celtics. Sorry if anybody's Celtics fans, but nope, that's our rivalry.
yeah. But I might get myself a Brooklyn Dodgers, little card of them. I wonder how much they're worth.
Yeesh, I'm sure
But
they're expensive.
oh yeah, well, hopefully not.
Yeah.
But I think he was a great actor. Like Tanya Roberts was also, I think she was the cute one of the group. Like they did,
Mm-hmm.
I remember that's what I don't. The killer did say, "Oh, you're so pretty." He keeps touching her and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But he likes Molly as well. I've
Yeah.
noticed that he liked Molly. I don't think
Yeah.
she looked nothing like the wife at all. I kept looking. I'm like, they don't look nothing alike.
I didn't think either, but in his mind, maybe at some point she did. And we never get a real picture of her. They say they found a picture of her in the photo album, and then they look at the
Yeah.
mannequin and say, "Oh, it looks like the lady." But it's movie magic, is what I call it. It's like you just have to. They just want you to believe it.
You have a son, right?
Yeah, I have a little one.
Oh, take him to go see the Wax Museum in Hollywood.
Yeah, I will eventually. He's a little too little for it right now.
If you go to like the really good one, the Madame was it the Madame
Madame
Tussauds?
Tussauds. Yeah, I've been to the one in
Yeah.
Vegas, and I haven't been to the one and I was just down there like a few weeks ago in the
I
area.
know
But
those they look like lifelike, and sometimes celebrities pretend to be their life
hmm
figures for fun.
yeah,
Like those don't scare
no,
people.
they're not scary looking.
But you got to go to the ones that like, oh, it's $5 a ticket. Like the ones, there's like really terrible rated ones, and people just go there to see how awful the characters look.
Yeah, they do it on purpose. It's they're made bad on purpose because people know they're bad looking, so they come in and look at them. Yeah.
A part of me thinks they're not on purpose. I think like there's a dude in the back, a freaking mannequin maker, feeling bad about himself. Like, He's looking at the
He's in
reviews.
therapy now.
He's looking at the Yelp reviews. I'm actually trying my best.
Yeah, I'm never gonna get a job at Madame Tussauds. Yeah, I
Oh
haven't
my
been to the
god.
LA one, but I went to the Vegas one years ago and it was really cool. But yeah, that's on my list. I need to check out.
Oh man, I don't like mannequins, man. Like I think this helped. This made my fear of mannequins a lot worse.
For sure.
Like oh god, man. Like I have dolls in my room. I have Chucky, Tiffany, and they look like the movies, and I love that. Like these don't scare me, but imagine a gigantic mannequin in the corner
Nope. Nobody
because
nope.
I know in the darkness. Like talk about the movie. When you're in the dark, you ever go down to the kitchen for a glass of milk and you don't want to turn the light? I run back in my room and I think something's chasing me. I know it's in the
You're
back of
still
my
scared of
mind.
the
It's
dark? Yeah, you love horror movies.
yeah, or like throwing out the trash outside is like I could just take my time and do it, but no, I'm just gonna run and get back inside.
There's something about the darkness. There's a reason kids are scared of the dark, and like we said, even some adults are scared of the dark. I think I'm gonna throw her under the bus. My niece Kelsey, she likes scary movies, but she's like, no, she don't like that. She's still scared of the dark. But this movie is actually very dark, and I don't mean dark in like the tone of it. I mean dark. It's actually dark. There's some scenes where you're kind of squinting almost to see what's going on, and I don't know if that's low budget, but it adds to the creep factor.
Like Tanya Roberts, when she gets the axe in the back of her head, you can't see nothing. You think that there's blood. You're trying to see it. You squint your eyes, but they don't show it to you. You just see her like react. She touches her head and she just falls. I think with them giving a complete darkness, I think they don't know if this is happening or their mind playing tricks on them. Like you can tell, like they're still confused the whole time, and it could be intentional or it could just be like, hey, we don't have like lights are not part of the budget.
Yeah, who knows? Well, before we head out, let's tell the listeners about your YouTube channel and some of the things you have going on right now. Because I know you're like a videographer and a photographer.
Right.
You film for different
Thank you.
places.
My Instagram is NAC23 Films. I was recently in a movie with James Balsamo, School Bites 2 and Robot Dracula. They're coming out soon.
Oh,
I
nice.
play a vampire this time. And if you check out my Instagram, you'll see me in my horror outfit. I'm a videographer for some goth places around LA. There is a lot of videos I make. I love them, but they do include a lot of women, go-go dancing, and it's a little bit hard to see. Sometimes my account looks like a horror account or it looks like a burlesque account, but it's just the clubs I film for.
Gotcha.
And it's all about connecting and getting to know people. That's why I love doing podcasts with you. I love going to horror events and connecting with people. It's just myself out there.
Yeah.
And be on the lookout for my movie, School Bite 2.
Okay.
I've seen it. I think it's coming out pretty soon actually. And I was in another movie with Kenneth Brucer. I was in a movie called Death Bitch. You can find me this month at the Heritage Square Museum for the Spooky Swamp Meet.
Okay. Yeah, I've seen the advertisements going on for that. And then in May, you're going to be at
Halfway
Halfway
to
to
Halloween.
Halloween, right? In Aruba, California.
Yeah, there's some celebrities going to be there. There's definitely some haunt mazes, scare cosplayers all over the place, and some really good vendors. Like it's a really well-rounded place. It's in the park, and they have a swamp pirate atmosphere there. Like they have zombie pirates. They have little places you can do photo ops there, and it's a really good place for the family.
Cool. Yeah, that's what I love about most of the spooky events and even the conventions. You think it's just all these creepy, it's just these weird horror fans. And it's no, there's always a familial element to it. I love when I go to events and you see little kids and they got their little Chucky backpack or they're wearing their like Five Nights at Freddy's t-shirts. And all of the cosplayers do like a really good job of they know when to play up the scary and they know when to be, oh, you know what, this is a little kid and they're still new to this environment. I'm not going to scare them. I'm not going to do a jump scare on them. They tend to be more friendlier towards them. And yeah, I like that about these events. You'll see people of all ages.
Weirdly, I never scare children. I don't like scaring kids. I know it's easy, but I just don't like it.
Yeah.
With my mask, I think it's the smile that freaks people out. It's just this the demonic, evil smile. But when I see a kid, I cover my mouth or I just try to turn my head away. I don't want to traumatize anybody, but I have had kids come up to me asking for photos,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
little kids, and I'm like, oh, of course, no matter what. But their parent is taking the photo, and they look like a little bit. You can tell like they're grinding their teeth. They look like a little bit scared. And I do a thing
Well, then
where
why bring your kid?
I do a thing where they're taking their photos, and I just like jump out at them. The
Yeah.
parents hate it, but I know the kids love it.
Yeah.
I think the best little kid I ever like took a photo with was a Chucky cosplayer. He was a little like 3 to 4 year old, and he kept looking at me, and I was like, "Hi," and he kept following me around. It was CreepyCon, and then I noticed he grabbed his mom, and he pointed at me, and I'm like, "Okay, what did I do?" But he just wanted a photo,
Yeah.
and he just like was standing right next to me, and I think that little kid was like really good because she said, "Dude, do a Chucky face," and he scrunched his face with a knife, and I was like, "That is so freaking adorable."
Right.
Like I think kids have a really good imagination, and that's why I don't like scaring kids. I like scaring adults, though.
Yeah.
it's way
Yeah.
easier.
Exactly. All right. Well,
Yeah.
thank you so much again, Nelson. I really appreciate having you on the podcast. It was really cool to chat about tourist trap, and we went off on some fun tangents there. Thank you to all the listeners. We hope you enjoyed this. If you're looking for more content, you can go to my website, dreadfuldialogue.com. I'm also on Instagram at Dreadful Dialogue Podcast. I just started a like Facebook and the TikTok, but I don't know how to I don't really use that stuff. So I don't have a lot of followers. I'm mainly on Instagram. I'm going to start trying to be active on those other social medias. Again, we hope you enjoyed this episode. And with that, everybody have a good one. Thanks again.
Thank you, everybody.